morning and welcome to Living Local 15. Thank you so much for joining me. Happy Monday. First up, it's Money Monday with Foster Financial. And today we're talking about all the things that's happening in the Middle East and how that can impact your 401k. Then I have an intimate conversation with Praying Wives and Mothers Ministry and learning about their upcoming conference happening this weekend. So you want to get your tickets. And a little bit later, Plexaderm shares with us their newest specials just for you. That and more happening now.
Fashion, food, and fun. You're watching Living Local 15 with your host, Jessica Williams.
This segment sponsored by Foster Financial. Welcome to Money Monday with Foster Financial, where we discuss different topics, holistic topics, to help you with your financial planning. And joining me today is their Vice President, Caleb Doan. Hello, Caleb.
Hi.
How's it going?
It's going well. How are you doing?
Good. Okay, so we're diving into hot topics, literally. As you all know, there's a lot going on in the Middle East. The U.S. is involved with this war that's taking place at the moment, and people are probably wondering, how does that affect my finances?
Yeah.
So Caleb, 401ks, what happens?
Yeah, so I mean, generally I would say that people probably overestimate how much something like conflict in the Middle East is going to impact the stock market and their 401k. Okay. Certainly there's a short-term impact, right? And we've seen some of that volatility over the last couple of days here. But the primary driver of stock market movements is typically expectations of future corporate earnings, right? So I mean, when you're investing in the stock market, you're buying a share of a company, you're a part owner of that company, and you have a claim to some of the future earnings of that company. The biggest driver of stock market movements are going to be expectations of those earnings. And so whenever I'm reading headlines that come across that, there was a bombing in Iran or whatever it might be, there was a submarine that was, took down a tanker, I'm typically digesting or looking at some of that information through the lens of how is this going to impact future corporate earnings for some of these publicly traded companies. And there's a lot of times where there's a relatively limited impact, certainly in the long term. And so I think there are certain things that are pretty flashy or big events on a world stage, but when it comes to how it impacts the stock market, it might not be as big as what people initially think, or the fluctuations are just short term and it doesn't have much of an impact on the longer term. Yeah,
and it's like you think about where people's money lives, in particular the stuff that is impacted, like oil and gas, and like how our gas prices shot up overnight here in Indiana. And so people who have investments and stock holdings in those type of companies, how should they be thinking at the moment? I mean, and I know you say don't do rash movement, let it play out a bit.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's typically the recommendation that we have if you have a comprehensive and holistic financial plan. So when we make financial plans for clients, we have a tailored risk strategy for every client. And it's based on their time horizon of the investments, based on their specific risk tolerance, their expected withdrawals, their goals for the money. And so we have a lot of these fluctuations expected in the financial plan. We know that every couple of years there's typically a pullback in the stock market. There's going to be different headlines like this that move the market, and we have some of that priced into their plan. And so when we have a specific plan for it and we have conservative features built into their investment structure, it gives them a lot more confidence and clarity when it comes to their financial plan, where they feel like they don't need to make some of those rash moves because we've already planned for it ahead of time. If somebody's out there and they're managing their own 401k at work, or they're just all invested in, a target date fund or something like that, sometimes you don't have that same confidence because it might not be a risk strategy that's tailored to you and tailored to your specific withdrawal needs and goals and retirement plans. And so if you're in that situation, it can be a really good time to reach out to a financial advisor, see if you can get a second opinion on your finances. Because even with the fluctuation that we've seen over the last week or so, we're still not too far off of all-time highs in the stock market. And so when there are big dips, a lot of times we're telling people, hey, it's probably a good time to stay the course. when there's some of these smaller fluctuations, it's very possible that somebody isn't invested appropriately for what their goals are. And so it can still be a good time to go talk to somebody and say, hey, should I make some changes here?
Right. And are you talking all-time high, like when the Dow hit over 50,000?
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Big benchmark.
What
there.
a moment. So when you speak about people being able to come and talk about it, I was curious about that when it comes to your clients. So is it the market shaking up, they run and call you? Do you have consistent meetings with your clients where you're discussing things on a monthly basis? What does that working relationship look like?
Yeah, I mean, we're very education focused with our clients too. So we typically get very few calls actually when there's fluctuations like this in the market because we prep ahead of time, right? You know, we will give our outlook for what the year is going to look like. We have conservative features built into the plan so that clients know, hey, if there is a pullback in the stock market, Foster Financial has me covered. We've got a financial plan that has already accounted for this possibility. I'd say maybe with newer clients or maybe people that current clients are sending in to us for the first time, they might be a little bit more concerned when they see some fluctuations like this because maybe they don't have that same level of confidence or they feel like their risk isn't as tailored to them. And so that's where we can kind of come alongside, put together a financial plan for them and give them that confidence in retirement.
All right, perfect. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate it. Hopefully things stabilize.
Right.
And if you would like more information about Foster Financial and them helping you put together a financial plan and also to analyze your risk, you can contact them by calling the number below. And I'll see you after the break. This segment sponsored by Foster Financial.
Have an idea for the show? Want to find out how you can be a guest? Contact us at livinglocal15@wayne.com.
This segment sponsored by Praying Wives and Mothers Ministry. I'm now joined by Gina Burns, who is the founder of Praying Wives and Mothers Ministry. Hello, how are you?
Good, how are you?
It's good to meet you.
Thank you.
Now, your ministry is something that I know is a passion that you started as a source of an outreach.
Yes.
To a unique community. So break down what Praying Wives and Mothers is all about.
Well, first and foremost, I would say we're a family. It's a women's small group ministry. Some say it's a Bible study, but as you can tell just from this environment, it's a very raw, safe place that we believe God has created for women of all faiths. For women maybe who go to church, who don't go to church. We don't follow a rigid Bible study plan per se, but we are a faith-based ministry. So it's just I feel like God has said He's just wanted to create a safe place for His daughters to come and learn about Him, to have community with other women, to grow at a slow pace if they want in their faith. And that's why we have this building. So that's what we do.
Yes, because it is so cozy and
It
quaint.
is.
When I walked in, I said, oh, wow, this is so nice. I can just imagine ladies just sitting around, walking around, being in fellowship.
Yeah.
And talk to me about how the small groups work. When you come in, is it Bible study mixed with sharing and caring? What is your structure?
Well, I have to say 2 weeks ago, we had a night where we just all wore our pajamas. So that's how casual it
Love
is.
that, yeah.
So we are biblical based, so we do read a devotion. We have questions. We go through and everybody will tell some good news. We read our lesson and then we have some prayer requests, but it's not so rigid. We spend a lot of time on the word ministering. So we spend time just hearing and just being girlfriends and being family and saying, what's God doing in your life? Where are you struggling at? So we kind of have a little bit of a structure. We have food. I figure that wherever there's food and coffee, there's always good there. So we have food, the Bible, conversation. So it's a little different than probably what most people would think of a quote Bible study per se. But I would say it is a good community. Yeah. And it is a safe place. And we all love it.
Yeah, and it's in the title, Wives and Mothers.
Yes.
So is this specifically aimed towards wives and mothers, or can others and singles and other individual women come?
It is titled Wives and Mothers, but it is not just for wives and mothers.
Okay.
So that is a little misleading. And I have to say, when I started it, I kind of felt like God gave me the name Praying Wives and Mothers, but it doesn't have to, you don't have to be a wife or mother. So it's a little
You've
misleading.
Evolved.
Yeah,
No,
we've evolved.
It's evolving and adding people and I was going to ask you, I mean, you started back in 2019, so 6 years ago, having this facility, but it started off in your home way back in 2003?
Yes.
Wow, that's a long time to be doing this sort of ministry. How has that journey been for you?
My youngest was 3 years old at the time, and I kind of felt like God wanted me to do something, but I just couldn't quite figure out what it was.
Yeah.
And he picked the one thing I didn't want to do. And so we started it, and it has evolved from being in my house to being here.
Yeah.
It's been hard, confusing, challenging. We had COVID hit.
Yeah.
And then I was in a really bad accident, so that tested our faith, my faith. So it's been a long journey, but the women that come through, and I hear the stories of just how God has met them, how God has changed me through it. I just feel blessed to be a part of it.
That is so beautiful, because a lot of times people assume that church atmospheres are polished and faith is messy, and it's a journey, and it's something that you have to not only focus on God and His love, but on the community and the support. So that's why it's so great that you're bringing women together and they can share their testimony.
Yeah, because there are some women who are just hurt. Maybe they're hurt by their church, or maybe they're struggling in their marriage, and they just don't want people to know their business.
Right.
And so they come in here and they can just be themselves. There's no pressure. But the goal of us is to not just have it be here. The goal is to have these groups in other people's homes. There's something about being in somebody's home that kind of lets your guard down, I think, a little bit. So that is the goal of us, kind of taking it to the streets, per se.
Which is awesome. And speaking of evolution and how you've just grown, let's talk about the conferences that you throw, and the Now What conference that will be taking place in March. So what is the Now What conference all about?
Well, the Now What is kind of when you go through something and you go, man, now what am I going to do? But really we go, crap, what am I going to do now? It's that moment where you go, I've been hit hard, and I just don't know what I'm going to do. And so we do the groups here, but I felt like the Bible talks about, sharing our testimony. And I have found that I learn well from hearing other people's story. It gives me hope. So I thought, we have all these awesome stories, let's put it in a book form. And then that evolved to, well, let's just have a conference. So we started it where women go up and just kind of tell their now what moment, what God brought them through, what He's taught them, and we cut up and laugh, and we have worship and food. So it's really just a day to show off what God's done. It's really about Him and testifying, and I applaud the women who are willing to tell their now what moment.
Yeah, I love that, because the test that we are given is, as you said, to testify, and of course to share our testimony. And so when you say that women go up on stage and share, are these structured speakers, or are these just volunteers from the audience?
So they are structured. So we have this book. We did this book, and it's the stories of women, and some women don't want to publicly share their story. And other women, it's structured. They have about 30 minutes to go up and kind of tell whatever they want to tell. And we have 3 speakers, and then we have a woman who will tell a little bit about our ministry, and then I will close it up in the end. We have a theme every year. This year we are talking about when Jacob wrestled with God, and so kind of what are we wrestling with. And so it's structured. And it's tear-jerking, it's raw, it's unfiltered, but it all points to Christ. And that's how it should be.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's taking place in Auburn,
Yes.
Indiana. And so what date and time is this conference, and how can people go about getting tickets?
Okay, so it is March 14th. It's a Saturday morning from 9 till about 2:30. You can go on our Facebook page, our website. There's a QR code. People can sign up there.
Okay, perfect. And I know you're doing something special.
Yeah.
If people are watching today, then you're offering a little promotion.
I am.
If they go to your social media pages and comment,
Yes.
Living Local 15, if you're the first two, you're getting 2 tickets.
Correct.
Look at that.
So you can bring a friend. We're trying.
Love that. So you can bring a friend. So the first 2 people to go and comment Living Local 15, you get access to this amazing conference that's taking place very soon.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, I thank you for sharing your
Thank you.
journey and just about your ministry today. And I'm excited for you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You're so welcome. And if you would like more information about Praying Wives and Mothers Ministry, we'll have their website listed below. Save the date for their Now What conference taking place on March 14th. You can get tickets at the website below, and I'll see you after the break.
This segment sponsored by Praying Wives and Mothers Ministry.
Follow us on social media at Living Local 15.
This segment sponsored by Plexaderm. Well, the secret is out. Plexaderm is one of the most sought after products in the country. And why? Well, they claim it can practically erase the look of under eye puffiness, wrinkles, and crow's feet in just 10 minutes. It was recently featured in both Elle and E as the cosmetic editor's pick for 2025. People just can't get enough of it. And that's why we're so excited to have Scott here, our friend Scott, to tell us why you should join the millions of people around using Plexaderm to look better and feel younger in all of 10 minutes. Welcome, Scott.
Jessica, great to be back with you. And yeah, people cannot get enough of this product. I think some people would bathe in it if they could, Jessica. But we just market it for the face, and it does its job there, that's for sure. And you'll see that with the before and after pictures. It helps you reduce the appearance on all the problems we have as we get older. The under eye bags, the forehead lines, the crow's feet, and those pesky laugh lines people get around their mouth as they age, or maybe if they're a smoker.
Yes, and those things can be very annoying. And I heard that you actually brought in some clips of users' reaction so we can actually see themselves for the first time after applying Plexaderm.
Yeah, the before and afters are great, but when you hear people's reactions and see it and be there in the room like I was, it's pretty awesome. So take a look.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Wow, is that really me? It's a facelift in a jar.
Okay, that is amazing. Like, I love the reaction, the surprise. They're surprised, they're shocked. They're like, oh my goodness, I can look like that.
Well, that's the quote of the year. You know, it's like a facelift in a jar. And when she said that, we all just cracked up and we said, cut, we're keeping that one. That was like, our favorite quote ever. But, I want to stress too, we had 3 ladies on there, with their results. But this is for men too, Jessica. Believe it or not, we've gotten much more vain with our appearance the last decade or
Really?
so. Yes, yeah, believe it or not. And men make up a big part of our customer fan base because this serum goes on clear. All right, so there's no chalky white residue. Most men, besides myself, don't wear makeup. So the fact that we can use this product and look younger without letting other people know we're actually doing that, that's a big advantage for men, and that's why they love it.
Yes, and you guys came with some heavy metals this time around because Plexaderm won Editor's Choice for L and E, and it's even better to see how fast it works. And I hear that you have some special pricing for us.
Yes, we got the with the Olympics here. We got the gold medal from E and L as far as editor's choice. So yeah, I mean, my God, were we excited? You know, those international fashion beauty publications to get that validation, Jessica, is huge. But even more huge are the results, and really, it's because of our ingredients. We derive silicates from shale rock. But we have peptides and collagen in the formula. With peptides, we're giving you moisture in your skin. With collagen, we are giving you firmness. So all you do is put this on a clean, dry face, wait 10 minutes, and you're going to see those results that you've seen on your screen. You're going to look 10 to 15 years younger, and those results are going to last up to 10 hours, Jessica.
Wow.
So, yeah, wow is right. And speaking of wow, we're going to talk about our special right now, which is the Plexaderm 6 application trial pack, which is what I'm holding in my hands right here. There's the 6 applications. So we're making this affordable for everyone, Jessica. Right now, it is $14.95 plus free shipping. And the only way to get that deal is to call 1-800-752-0378. You can also scan the QR code or just go to plexadermtrial.com.
All right, perfect, Scott. Well, it's so good to see you. Thank you so much for breaking it down for us and giving us that special pricing. We appreciate it.
Great to be with you as always, Jessica.
All right. And if you would like more information about Plexaderm, we'll have their website listed below in the QR code that you can scan. And I'll see you after the break. This segment sponsored by Plexaderm.
Living Local 15, proudly driven by the Kelly Automotive Group. Go to the Living Local 15 page on WANE.com for recipes from the show, to watch a segment again, and to get information on products and services featured on Living Local 15. Content segments during today's Living Local 15 were paid for by these sponsors.